the plate. Determine what your strike zone is going to be and stick with it. Okay? Don't call a pitch, a high pitch, a strike one at bat, and the next girl, the same pitch is thrown, and you call it a ball. Okay? So whatever it's going to be consistent. That's one of the first important rules about umpiring baseball, is consistent. If you're consistent, you can finish the game, and no matter what the people behind the fence are saying, you know, you did the best you could to be consistent. My strike zone was always a low strike zone when I was behind the plate, because I felt like if a guy could throw a 88-mile-an-hour fastball right at their knees, that was pretty good. And I might give him a little bit below the knees, but if I was a big guy, a tall umpire, didn't weigh quite as much back then, and if I had to look up, I felt like that pitch was too high, even though it might still be in the strike zone. So I never would give you a high strike. But I was very consistent with that. So the coaches never argued that because I was consistent. The second important thing is you can't do this out. So there's a rule in that play. You can't do that. So does anybody have any signals? Do y'all know any signals or anything like that? Okay, so a typical out call is something like this. Out. Okay? Out. Okay, that bang bang, you're not sure, but you're going to call them out. It's like this. Ah! Guess what? It looks like you know what you're doing. You saw it, you made the call, and what do the parents say? Well, they don't say anything except, oh, she was safe, or he was safe. But if you call them out emphatically, they're pretty much going to agree.
And that's the complaint we have.
And they're telling the coach it's an inside pitch. Well, they'll go ball, and they'll look outside, and they're telling that coach it's an outside pitch. So just understand your body has a lot to do with the way you look as far as an umpire's concerned. Okay? So, behind the plate, you squat or do you kneel? Okay? And y'all are going to have to make that decisions if you're calling behind the plate on softball. All right? Some umpires put one knee down. Most umpires, especially younger, get down like they're supposed to. You'll see, you probably see some of the older umpires that are around here that do y'all's games that will get on the inside corner of the shoulder in a game of the catcher. Okay, so if they have a right-hand pitcher, they're probably going to be on the left-hand shoulder of the catcher because they're looking for that inside pitch coming in. And you'll see umpires that give the outside corner away. Okay? Do any of y'all catch? Nobody here catches? So if you ever watch a catcher that frames a pitch, you'll see that catcher, does your catcher frame your pitches? Okay, so that catcher, that ball's on the outside corner, and they'll take it and they'll pull it right back in. And they're trying to get that call. You just have to make sure that you're doing the best you can to be consistent. Okay, so the average 12-year-old, how old are you? 6 is twice her height because she's 6. So when she hits 12, she'll be 2 times as tall, right? They are a hard crowd. So just understand that the strike zone is, does anybody know? You know what strike zone is?
Yeah, typically from the knees, and when they're standing up, the bottom of the elbows, and typically there's a number right here. It's the bottom of the number.
Bottom of the number. Knees to the bottom of the number. But just remember, whatever you do, if you're consistent, if you call it waist to the knees, you do it every time, over and over and over again, nobody's going to argue. But if you call this pitch a strike, and then you don't call it again, then you're going to get people that are saying, come on!